What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Join us now as we look at this week's edition of Monday Night Raw and look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including the real reason why Finn Balor lost on Raw, sad news for Javon Evans as he's injured, another WWE star injured, is Triple H beating the racism allegations, the truth behind the WWE firing, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we won't recap the show, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good, as number 1, AJ Styles is retiring already. Raw kicked off with a promo segment between Gunther and AJ Styles, and after AJ pitched a rematch versus Gunther for the Royal Rumble, Gunther counter-offered with a shocking match stipulation. Gunther suggested that the rematch is a retirement match, so AJ is forced to put his career on the line at the Royal Rumble. This was a shocking development, as nobody in their right mind expected AJ's retirement match to take place at the Rumble. I guess if AJ did ever retire at the Royal Rumble, which probably seems unlikely at this point, it would kinda seem a little poetic. He debuted at the Royal Rumble in 2016, and now he's retiring exactly 10 years on the same show. Number 2, Rey Mysterio shined. Despite being 51, Rey Mysterio had a stellar outing on Raw. Mysterio teamed with Penta and Dragon Lee vs. The Vision, and Mysterio wrestled like it was 2006. Rey is still able to perform at a high level, and it's insane that the WWE Hall of Famer has now been wrestling for multiple decades. And Punk vs. Balor. Now, as expected, CM Punk vs. Finn Balor for the world title was an instant classic. Balor would bring back the original Balor theme, and let's face it, this skyrocketed Balor's aura to the moon. This match has happened for the first time ever in WWE, and there was incredible chemistry between the two. And WWE should definitely look to book more matches between the two legends. But that was good. What about the bad? Is number 1, the most obvious heel turn of all time? Raw featured perhaps the most obvious heel turn of all time. Natalya would accompany Maxine Dupree to the ring for a match versus Becky Lynch, and Natalya ended up turning on Dupree and costing her the Intercontinental title. The return was so obvious as everyone on social media called it. Hell, Stevie Wonder could have called this one, and WWE could have at least made it a little less predictable. But some have even noticed that in the background, whilst Natalya was talking to Maxine Dupree in the promo, just look who's in the back, the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. Is she joining up with them? Well, nevertheless, the match between Dupree and Lynch was potentially one of their best matches to date, and the improvement of Dupree is worth noting at least. Number 2, Pin Theory. Now, the presentation of the Vision stable really needs some work. The stable came out to Logan Paul's theme on Raw, and there's a defined lack of chemistry within the current faction. Now that Bron Breakker is suspended and off television, the stable is failing to connect, and WWE needs to rework the presentation. Theory was also pinned in the 6-man tag team match, and that certainly gives credence to the idea that Theory has been inserted into the faction just to take those pins. And number 3, declaring for the Royal Rumble. Now, something that really needs to stop in WWE in 2026 is wrestlers coming out to declare for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, we get it, we're in the age of social media where nothing is a surprise anymore, but at least WWE could hold the surprises until the Royal Rumble itself, rather than having wrestlers come out and declare that they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. Just ruins everything. Yes, we the fans can speculate, but WWE should just really keep them secret. Let fans be surprised at the Royal Rumble. So far, Cody Rhodes, Gunther, Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee have declared for the men's match, and for the women's match, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Bayley, Lyra Valkyria and Asuka have all declared. There was nothing on the show that stood out as downright ugly this week. The show was well paced and managed to finally build up the Royal Rumble as we just mentioned, but obviously the declaring as superstars is a bit of a bad. The main event match between CM Punk and Finn Balor was stellar, and there's definitely money in WWE running back that match down the line. What would you guys think of Raw this week? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at a major AEW exit confirmed. Now, our top story today looks at another major AEW exit. Last week, it was reported that Trey Miguel had signed with AEW, but now in a shocking twist, it's now been confirmed by numerous outlets that Miguel has been outright released from the company. According to Fightful Select, Miguel has announced that he's taking a step back from pro wrestling, but he's expected to remain on good terms with AEW. Trey Miguel announced that he was stepping away for a break from pro wrestling after an up and down week. On January 18th, Rascals member Trey Miguel posted that he was taking a break from pro wrestling, but still encouraged the audience to support the Rascals. Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp was able to confirm that Miguel had been released from his AEW contract in the last few days. We were not provided a reason for the release outside of AEW remaining on amicable terms with him, and this is one of the most confusing releases in recent memory, and hopefully we'll know more information in the coming days. Next up, the real reason why Finn Balor lost. But did Finn Balor just turn full babyface? Well, it appears that WWE used Balor's pinfall loss to CM Punk on Raw to cement his face turn. I mean, the clues were in the match itself. Balor would bring back his original babyface theme for the match, and he was firmly over with the Irish crowd. Once Balor lost the match to Punk, Punk would raise Balor's arm in victory, and this is what many are believing to be a signal that Balor is now a full babyface star once again. As things stand, Balor is still in the heel Judgment Day faction, but it's possible that the fallout from this angle continues into the Royal Rumble, potentially even WrestleMania. Next up, a shocking injury on Raw, and it's bad news for Javon Evans. Tonight's Raw featured a shocking injury, as Javon Evans vs El Grande Americano was called off mid-match. The match was called off due to Evans landing awkwardly, and there was immediate concern as the referee immediately stopped the match from continuing, calling the doctors to tend to Evans. The referee then stopped the match as the doctors were leading Javon Evans out from ringside. Sadly, there's been no updates as of yet in relation to Evans' condition, but this absolutely sucks, especially as Javon Evans has just made it to the main roster and we're just 2 weeks out from the Royal Rumble, a Royal Rumble that he could have been a participant in. Again, we don't know the seriousness of the injury, but we will likely keep you posted and hope that he makes a full and fast recovery. Next up, Triple H trying to beat the racism allegations. Triple H has been called out for alleged racism over the past few years, and specific criticism comes from the perceived idea that the game doesn't like to push black wrestlers. But with that being said, according to a new report from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, at the recent Orlando tryout, there was a focus on black wrestlers due to Triple H's extensive criticism. There was a 5-day tryout in Orlando this week. The idea was very much to focus on black males and bodybuilders due to the criticism that Paul Levesque doesn't push black males. Obviously, with the call-ups of Obafemi, Trick Williams and Javon Evans all at the same time, they're looking at quelling that criticism. They also brought in more wrestlers with independent experience. It was back in 2024 that the game declared that he doesn't see color when booking WWE programming, but this naturally led to even more criticism being directed his way. Yet another WWE star is reportedly injured. Aleister Black reportedly suffered a broken tailbone during his ambulance match against Damian Priest on SmackDown earlier this month. The report comes from the Wrestling Observer Radio, which stated, the plan was reportedly always for Black to take time off following the match, and the injury is believed to be minor. Black is currently being advertised locally for the Royal Rumble next weekend, so it's possible that he makes his return at the show in Saudi Arabia. Nevertheless, we here at Wrestlelamia wish Black a speedy recovery. Next up, Bron Breakker to split from the Vision. There have been calls from fans to see Bron Breakker leave the Vision faction behind. Breakker has been a breakout star of the group, and some would argue that he doesn't need the faction at all, as he's better off as a solo act. One wrestling legend firmly agrees with these comments, and that name in question is Kevin Nash, who had this to say on his podcast this week. He's already separated himself from them on just his actions, so he's naturally elevated himself to a position where he doesn't need Vision. And Vision was always Seth's baby because it was Seth's vision. There's no way Seth can go out there, grab the microphone and cut a 3-minute promo, 4-minute promo with Bronson standing behind him with sunglasses, hands crossed. That's gone. Now those days are over. And Nash has a compelling argument here, and there's no denying that Breakker may have overstayed his welcome and may have already outgrown the faction. Next up, Jade Cargill responds to Backlash. Jade Cargill, the current WWE Women's Champion, has responded publicly to a growing wave of criticism about her lack of televised title defenses since winning the championship on November 1st, 2025 at Saturday Night's Main Event. And despite holding the title for over 2 months, she has yet to defend it even once on television, which has drawn a lot of scrutiny from fans. Things have intensified ever since Jordynne Grace, who recently debuted on SmackDown, pointed out on social media that Cargill hadn't defended a belt yet, even in 75 days. However, Cargill responded on Twitter saying, "You want me to defend my title against a nobody? If I'm going to defend my title, it's going to be against somebody who is competition." Now, sadly, this tweet just highlights the problem with SmackDown at the moment, as there doesn't seem to be any legitimate competitors on the blue brand. Of course, right now there is Jordynne Grace, who will eventually get a title shot, but WWE likely doesn't want to rush into this just right now. And finally, the truth behind the WWE firing. Our final news today looks at the truth behind R-Truth's infamous WWE exit. Last year, Truth's WWE firing caused mass outrage from both fans and wrestlers alike, and the backlash was so severe that WWE were ultimately forced to bring Truth back into the fold. And now, thanks to a preview of WWE Unreal Season 2, we now know the real reason why Truth was let go. According to head of WWE creative Triple H, it came down to a miscommunication during contract negotiations. We got to a point in Truth's run where his contract was coming up. When you're dealing with contracts and money and you're very far apart on the numbers and communication breaks down, it's very easy for both sides to read into the communications differently. Okay, well, if you're not going to come to us, then Truth, we're going to let your contract lapse. Your contract is at the end. We're not going to renew. Knowing that, hopefully maybe this will force his hand to say, well, hold on a second, can we talk? And the game will then add that Truth immediately posted on social media that he was fired. He immediately went out on social media and said he was fired, which he never was fired. Contrary to prior belief, he was never under contract with us. Triple H had previously stated last year that the entire angle was a work, but even Truth and Truth's own family denied this was the case. But there you have it, folks, our look at Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.